Hello there. Our topic for this video is test-taking strategies. So a strategy is like a way of doing something. So these are some tips from me. The first steps. When you get the test, the first thing you should do is preview the test. So that means just have a little look at the test itself, flip through the pages, look at the sections, what kind of questions do you have, which questions might be difficult, which ones do you think will be easy. I would recommend that you do the easy section first. That's because it won't take your time. You can get it out of the way and concentrate on the other parts. The next tip is read the questions carefully. Now, this is the most important piece of advice when you're taking an exam. If you misunderstand the questions, you cannot answer them, so read them very carefully. My next tip would be consider each option. So when you have a multiple choice, think about every option that you are given. Which ones sound like they could be the possible answer? Which ones sound like they're clearly not the answer? You can eliminate the clearly wrong answers, so you can cross those out, and you just have to think about the ones that could be the possible answer. When you've decided what you think is the answer, you can underline evidence in the text and write the question number next to it, so that later on, when you're checking your work, then you can go back and look at the evidence again and compare it once more to the answer that you selected and see if they are suitable, if they fit each other. So, next we have tips for finding the main idea. You're always going to have main idea questions in your reading comprehension exam. So how do you go about answering a main idea question? Well, first of all, if you're being asked about the main idea of the whole text, I would suggest that you look at the title, because the title usually reflects the main idea of the whole text. The next tip that I have is to think of the questions that we learnt in class. So what is the topic and what is the writer's idea about the topic? So if you can identify the topic of the text and then think what is the writer trying to say about that topic, then you're well on your way to identifying what the main idea is. So basically you're looking for the writer's message, the most important information that the writer would like to tell us about the topic. Another thing that you can do is look at the introduction, so the first paragraph or two, and at the conclusion, so the final paragraph. A lot of the time the main idea of the whole text is there in the introduction and in the conclusion, so you can compare the two to see what's repeated. You can also think to yourself, what is repeated throughout the whole text? Ideas that are repeated again and again and again are clearly the main ideas of the text. Another tip for you would be to look for rhetorical questions. So sometimes writers use rhetorical questions, which are questions that they don't answer or they don't expect you to answer, and their answer to that question would be the main idea. Okay, so another type of question is a true-false question. So how can you answer these? Well, read the statement first, think very carefully about the statement, and then look into the text to find evidence. Where in the text is it talking about, that subject that statement is talking about? Where can you see that reflected in the text? Underline it. Then compare the evidence in the text to the true-false statement and think, are these similar or are these different? Read very carefully. If you misunderstand a word or you misunderstand a couple of words, then you can't answer it correctly. Next question type would be graphic organisers. So if you've got a graphic organiser question in the exam, remember what we've been doing in class, which is write in notes, don't write in full sentences. So write noun phrases, nouns, important keywords, not sentences from the text. Look for the text structure. So look for transition signals that might show you compare and contrast, or listing, or cause and effect. Okay, the next type of question, short answer questions. We've practiced this a lot in class. So the first thing you need to do, remember, is to answer the question using question words, possibly to help you form your answer, so the words in the question where possible. Then you need to support your answer, so either with because, if it's a why question, or you can start using textual support. The text says. Then use support from the text, so you can use quotations. Remember, do not quote full sentences where possible, just phrases. Then you need to explain what your support shows. So this shows, this means, blah, 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 blah. And where possible, try and link your explanation back to the question itself. Finally, you also need some good luck. Oh, and how about a little tip for you? The word criticise, which means to say what you don't like about something, maybe in the text. So there's a heads up for you. If you don't know what the word criticise means, look it up now. Okay, yeah, see you on Sunday. Bye.